There is a divine storehouse filled with every good thing you could ever desire: wealth, health, joy, love, opportunities, and success. It is not in some faraway realm. It exists now, vibrating in the unseen, waiting for your command. You do not need to beg for it, you only need to claim it. The universe does not withhold. It only waits for your recognition of what is already yours. Every soul has an appointed hour for prosperity. A sacred moment, when divine order brings forth the visible manifestation of what has long been prepared in the invisible. Yet that hour is not set by chance or fate, but by your own words, your faith, and your fearless expectation. The delay is never denial. It is only the unfolding of divine timing. When your consciousness aligns with abundance, your appointed hour arrives swiftly and perfectly. The Storehouse Law states that whatever you affirm as yours in truth must appear. The spoken word opens the vault of the universe. Your word is your wand. When you speak of lack, you close the door. When you speak of abundance, the door swings wide. Every time you declare, "All that is mine by divine right now flows to me in perfect order," you send a signal through the ethers, commanding substance into form. You cannot receive with clenched hands, nor can you attract with fear. The universe responds not to worry, but to certainty. Speak your good, praise your good, and act as though it were already here. The moment you do, divine currents begin to move. The storehouse of heaven knows your name and your needs, but it awaits your permission to deliver. When you feel lack, remember, the supply already exists. The invisible always precedes the visible. Every desire born within your heart has its fulfillment prepared. If you long for greater wealth, it is because wealth is already seeking you. If you desire success, it is because success is already reaching for your hand. The divine pattern is perfect. Your only task is to remain steadfast in faith and refuse appearances of delay. Doubt and fear are the robbers of the storehouse. They whisper, "It's not time yet," or "You are not worthy." But the truth is, your worth was established by the Creator itself. You are heir to all that is good, noble, and abundant. The appointed hour is not about time on the clock. It is about vibration, awareness, and readiness. When your heart is full of gratitude, and your words full of conviction, that hour is now. There are those who toil endlessly, thinking prosperity is earned by strain and striving. But divine supply does not come through struggle. It comes through alignment. What belongs to you cannot be taken by another, and what belongs to another cannot be forced to you. The law is precise and unfailing. When you release competition, comparison, and anxiety, the storehouse opens in ways beyond your comprehension. Declare each morning, "My storehouse is full, and my appointed hour for prosperity is here. All channels are open, and divine abundance flows to me freely and joyfully." Then go about your day in quiet confidence, expecting miracles, acknowledging every small blessing as a sign of greater good unfolding. There is no power of lack except the belief in it. There is no delay except the hesitation of faith. When you believe fully that you are supported by divine law, the floodgates of heaven open. The storehouse law never fails, for it is written into the fabric of creation, as certain as the rising of the sun and the turning of the tide. So, lift your thoughts, guard your words, and keep your faith unshaken. The universe is not preparing your prosperity. It has already prepared it. Your appointed hour is not coming. It is now. Speak it, believe it, act upon it, and watch the storehouse of infinite supply pour out blessings that overflow every boundary you once believed in. Your words unlock the storehouse of infinite supply, for the spoken word is the key that opens every invisible door. The universe is always listening, always arranging itself to mirror the tone and intention of your speech. Every word you speak is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the unseen, and it must grow after its kind. If you sow words of lack, you will reap limitation. If you sow words of abundance, you will reap prosperity. The law never fails, and it never sleeps. Words are living vibrations, carrying the power of creation itself. When you speak, you command energy to take form. Every affirmation, every declaration, every phrase charged with belief sets spiritual forces in motion, moving substance into visible reality. This is not mere imagination or poetic expression. It is the immutable law of manifestation. The universe does not interpret your meaning. It responds to your vibration. So when you say, I am blessed, the storehouse of good responds. When you say, I can't afford that, the storehouse closes its gates. You are the keeper of your storehouse, and your tongue is the master key. When you realize this, you begin to guard your speech with reverence and intention. You understand that idle words are not harmless, for they summon experiences according to their nature. If you gossip about poverty, you invite it. If you complain about delay, you anchor it in place. But if you bless every situation, if you speak light into every shadow, you reverse the tide and open channels that were once sealed. Your word carries divine authority, for it is the echo of the Creator within you. When you speak, you participate in the act of creation itself. Your word is not powerless, it is a decree. Every time you declare your abundance, you activate the Storehouse Law, setting into motion invisible messengers who carry your intention to the right places, people, and opportunities. You need not know how it will come. The how belongs to divine intelligence. Your task is to speak in alignment with truth, to affirm what is divinely yours, and to speak as one who already possesses it. Many people speak words of faith, yet contradict them moments later with words of fear. They say, I know abundance is mine. Then declare, but times are hard. The universe cannot respond to divided speech. It mirrors consistency and conviction. Your words must align with your belief, and your belief must align with divine certainty. If your words waver, your results will waver. Speak as if the storehouse is already open, as if every treasure is already yours, for in truth it is. The Storehouse Law operates in silence, responding instantly to the language of faith. When you say, money comes to me easily and effortlessly, and you mean it, unseen forces begin to move. You may receive a call, an opportunity, a new idea, or a sudden release from a limitation. The words you speak today become the experiences you live tomorrow. If you knew the creative power of your words, you would never speak of defeat again. The word, I am, is the most powerful phrase in existence. For whatever follows it begins to take shape. When you say, I am abundant, you are declaring your unity with abundance itself. When you say, I am struggling, you are declaring your unity with struggle. The universe simply agrees. It has no will to oppose you, it only fulfills your decree. Therefore, be vigilant in your speech. Speak only of what you desire to see unfold. When lack appears, speak abundance. When fear whispers, speak courage. When doubt rises, speak faith. Every time you affirm truth in the face of illusion, the illusion weakens, and the truth strengthens its hold. Your words are not echoes, they are instruments of power, striking chords that vibrate through the unseen realms until they manifest in form. The Storehouse Law is governed by word and belief. It waits for your command, for your declaration of ownership, for your spoken claim of what is divinely yours. When you praise instead of complain, you multiply your blessings. When you bless what you have, you expand it. Gratitude spoken aloud has magnetic force. It draws greater good into your life. Speak gratitude daily and see how the storehouse opens wider. Say, I am thankful for divine supply that meets all my needs. And feel the energy of abundance stirring around you. Words of thanksgiving open the gates of heaven faster than any plea for help. The universe responds to joy, not desperation. Speak joyfully, expectantly, knowing that every word of truth builds invisible bridges between your desire and its fulfillment. Even a single statement spoken with pure faith can undo years of limitation. For one word of truth outweighs 1,000 words of fear. Your words are spiritual currency. Spend them wisely, for they buy the experiences you live. It is not enough to think good thoughts if your words contradict them. The vibration of speech amplifies thought, turning it into a living decree. Speak often, but speak with intention. Let your words be filled with conviction and life. When you affirm your prosperity aloud, you imprint that vibration upon your own consciousness and the world around you. Every declaration strengthens your claim and calls forth visible results. Say, the storehouse of infinite supply is open, and all that is mine flows to me now. And hold that tone of assurance. The universe cannot resist a confident command spoken in faith. The storehouse responds to courage, not doubt. It opens for those who speak truth as if it were already visible. When fear tempts you to speak of lack, pause and replace your words with faith. The moment you say, I don't know how. You delay your good. Instead, say, divine wisdom knows the way, and it is revealed to me. When you say, I can't afford this, you cut off flow. Instead say, I am fully supplied by divine law. You will feel the difference instantly, for truth carries power and peace, while fear carries weight and tension. Every word spoken in faith lightens your path and calls forth supply. Your speech is your instrument of creation, your bridge between the unseen and the seen. Speak abundance, health, and joy until they become your atmosphere. Let no word escape your lips that you do not wish to see materialized. The Storehouse Law listens without judgment, responding to every vibration as a divine command. So when you rise each day, speak your world into being. Affirm that everything you desire is already prepared for you in the infinite storehouse. Declare, all channels of supply are open to me, and feel the truth of it resonate through your being. The moment you align your words with divine law, circumstances rearrange themselves. The people you need appear, the doors you seek open, and the opportunities you have long imagined step into your path. It is not magic, but law. The eternal response of the universe to the vibration of the spoken word. You were given this power from the beginning, and through your words, you either open or close the storehouse that holds your treasures. Speak as a creator, not a beggar. Speak as one who knows that the universe is listening and ready to deliver its infinite wealth the instant you declare it, so divine timing aligns with your unwavering faith and expectation. For the universe operates in perfect order, never early, never late. Every event, every manifestation, every opportunity arrives in its precise moment according to the vibration of your belief. The divine clock does not follow human schedules. It moves according to spiritual readiness. When your heart is steady in faith, and your words are aligned with truth, time bends to your conviction. The appointed hour for your prosperity appears not by chance, but by the exact alignment of your consciousness with the rhythm of divine law. The moment you release impatience, doubt, and anxiety, you step into the current of divine timing, where everything flows with effortless precision. The universe knows the perfect hour for every manifestation, for it sees beyond appearances, beyond obstacles, beyond the limits of your understanding. It knows the path that leads to your highest good, and arranges every circumstance in harmony with your spoken word and your inner certainty. Faith is the bridge that carries you from desire to fulfillment. Without faith, you wander in confusion, looking for signs in the outer world, but with faith, you move in quiet power, knowing that the unseen is already at work. The unseen does not delay, it builds, it aligns, it orchestrates. When you trust divine timing, you cease to struggle against the current, and allow the flow to carry you to your destination. Many people try to force manifestations before they are spiritually ready to receive them, and when they do not appear immediately, they declare failure or loss. But divine law never fails. The delay is never punishment, it is preparation. Each moment of apparent waiting refines your faith, strengthens your word, and removes hidden resistance. The appointed hour comes when your consciousness is pure enough to hold the vibration of what you have spoken. The universe waits not to give, but to ensure that you can keep what you receive. Expectation is faith in motion. It is the living energy that keeps your vision alive when appearances seem contrary. When you expect your good with confidence, you magnetize it. Expectation forms a pathway in the invisible through which your blessings travel. You cannot say, I believe, and yet expect nothing. True faith expects fulfillment with joyful assurance. It looks beyond delay, beyond doubt, and beyond reason. It says, though I see nothing, I know my good is on the way. The vibration of expectancy sends forth a radiant signal that activates divine timing. When your belief, word, and expectation are united, the appointed hour arrives swiftly and naturally. The universe responds to the tone of your heart. If you speak of abundance but secretly expect lack, the timing remains paused, for divine law cannot contradict your vibration. But when you speak abundance and expect it fully, the timing unlocks itself. It is never the desire that delays manifestation, but the divided state of belief and doubt. Impatience is a subtle form of fear, a lack of trust in divine order. It whispers that you must hurry, that time is running out, that perhaps your good will not come at all. But divine law does not rush, for it is perfect. You cannot hurry the sunrise, yet it always appears. You cannot rush a seed into bloom, yet it always blossoms when the soil and season align. Your manifestations are no different. They unfold according to the same law. The universe is not withholding, it is synchronizing. It is moving people, circumstances, and opportunities into perfect placement so that when your appointed hour comes, everything fits effortlessly. When you trust in divine timing, peace replaces urgency. You no longer beg or chase after your good, you become still and certain, knowing that the unseen is at work on your behalf. In that stillness you become magnetic to miracles. The appointed hour cannot pass you by, for what is yours by divine right can never be lost. Faith is not passive waiting, it is active knowing. It speaks the word and rests in assurance that the word is fulfilled. When you say, "Divine order governs my life," you are declaring that every event is unfolding perfectly. Even apparent detours are divine redirections. Even pauses are divine preparation. The universe cannot make mistakes. Every delay, every shift, every unexpected turn is moving you closer to the manifestation of your spoken word. Your task is not to question the how or the when, but to hold unwavering faith that divine timing is flawless. The more you trust, the faster you align. The more you resist, the slower the flow becomes. Trust loosens the knots of resistance, doubt tightens them. Faith releases energy, fear constricts it. The law of timing responds to vibration, not desire. It listens not to the urgency of your words, but to the peace in your heart. When peace and faith dwell together, manifestation becomes inevitable. Expectation is the fragrance of faith. It is the invisible signal that tells the universe you are ready to receive. When you live in constant anticipation of good, you call it forth. You do not wait anxiously, you wait joyfully. You do not doubt, you prepare. Preparation is a form of faith, for it assumes the outcome is certain. When you expect abundance, you act like one who is already wealthy. When you expect love, you live as one who is already loved. When you expect success, you carry yourself as one who has already succeeded. This inner readiness activates divine timing. The universe will not deliver abundance to a consciousness still rehearsing scarcity. It will not bring love to a heart still expecting rejection. The appointed hour appears only when your inner world matches the vibration of your desire. Therefore, your work is not to chase the manifestation, but to align your consciousness with the truth of its existence. When divine timing begins to move, signs appear all around you. You will feel subtle shifts in your energy, synchronicities will multiply, and circumstances will rearrange themselves. But the signs are not to create belief. They are the evidence of belief already established. You have called them into being through faith and expectation. Do not cling to appearances or try to interpret every event. Simply continue affirming divine order. The universe works in silence, beneath the surface, weaving threads you cannot see. What appears to be delay is often the final adjustment before manifestation. What seems like an ending is often the beginning of something greater. Trust that all things are being arranged for your highest good. When your appointed hour comes, you will see how perfectly everything fits, how every detour had purpose, how every pause was grace in disguise. The rhythm of divine timing is as exact as the tides. You can rely on it with absolute certainty. When you live by this law, anxiety dissolves. You no longer ask, "When will it happen?" but declare, "It is happening now in perfect order." This shift in awareness is the turning point where miracles unfold. Divine timing does not mean waiting idly for something to occur. It means living in the vibration of readiness. It is the harmony between trust and inspired action. When the moment arrives, you will know it. The path will open without struggle. The opportunity will feel effortless, and the manifestation will appear as though it had been waiting for you all along. That is the magic of divine alignment. Nothing forced, nothing lost, everything perfectly timed. The appointed hour is never missed, for it is drawn to the vibration of unwavering faith and joyful expectation that cannot be denied. Prosperity is not earned. It is claimed through alignment, not struggle. For all supply already exists in the invisible realm waiting to be recognized and received. The world has taught many to labor, to strain, to chase after wealth as though it were something outside of themselves, but divine law teaches otherwise. Prosperity is not a prize for effort. It is a reflection of consciousness. When you are aligned with abundance in thought, word, and feeling, it flows to you as naturally as breath. You do not earn sunlight by working for it, you simply step into its light. So it is with prosperity. You step into its vibration through faith, gratitude, and awareness of divine supply. The universe does not reward the wary worker who toils in fear, but it responds instantly to the soul that knows its oneness with infinite source. The belief that one must struggle for prosperity is the greatest illusion of the material world, for struggle implies separation from supply, while truth declares unity with it. When you align yourself with divine law, you no longer chase after wealth. Wealth comes to you. You no longer beg for opportunity. Opportunity recognizes you. The moment you understand that abundance is not created by effort but by consciousness, you begin to live in ease. This does not mean idleness or passivity. It means inspired action that flows from certainty rather than fear. There is a vast difference between action born of panic and action born of alignment. Struggle says, I must make this happen. Alignment says, it is already done, and I follow divine direction. The first exhausts you, the second empowers you. Struggle leads to frustration, but alignment leads to fulfillment. The river does not struggle to flow, it moves in effortless harmony with gravity. You too are meant to move with that same ease when you are aligned with the current of divine abundance. The idea that prosperity must be earned through sacrifice or suffering is a distortion of truth. You are not rewarded by the universe, you are reflected by it. If you hold thoughts of scarcity, you see scarcity mirrored in your life. If you hold thoughts of plenty, you see plenty mirrored back. Prosperity is consciousness made visible. The law of supply operates through vibration, not effort. You cannot force abundance by human will, but you can invite it by spiritual alignment. Alignment means your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions are all tuned to the frequency of abundance. When even one of these is out of tune, the flow becomes obstructed. When they are in harmony, abundance becomes inevitable. It does not come through striving. It comes through surrendering the false belief that you must earn what is already yours by divine right. There are many who labor endlessly, believing that only hard work ensures success, yet they remain surrounded by struggle. There are others who move with grace and ease, and all things seem to flow toward them without effort. The difference lies in consciousness, not activity. The aligned soul knows that divine substance is infinite and ever-flowing, and therefore never worries about loss or lack. They act, but their action is joyful, inspired, and guided by intuition. They work, but their work feels like play, for it springs from love, not fear. Prosperity follows joy, not exhaustion. The universe is not impressed by effort, it responds to vibration. When you are relaxed, grateful, and certain of your supply, you draw it to you as a magnet draws iron. When you are anxious, doubtful, or desperate, you repel it. The law is simple, but it must be lived consciously every day. Alignment begins with knowing that you are one with the source of all creation. You are not a separate being pleading for blessings. You are an extension of divine energy expressing through form. The ocean does not withhold water from its waves, and the universe does not withhold prosperity from its expressions. When you think of yourself as separate from your supply, you create resistance. When you affirm unity, the resistance dissolves. Say often, I am one with divine abundance. It flows through me freely and without limit. This affirmation aligns your vibration with truth. Every time you repeat it, you open channels that have long been blocked by fear and doubt. Alignment is not achieved by effort but by remembrance. Remembering that you are already supplied in spirit, and only need to allow it into expression. The energy of struggle is rooted in fear. Fear that there is not enough. Fear that others may take your portion. Fear that you must work harder to be worthy. But divine law knows no competition, no scarcity, no struggle. There is enough for all, and more besides. When you align with this truth, your prosperity does not take from another, nor does another's prosperity diminish yours. The storehouse of heaven is infinite, ever expanding, overflowing. The only barrier is disbelief. When you believe that supply is limited, you unconsciously close your own channels. But when you believe in infinite substance, those channels open wide. The world may measure prosperity by effort, but divine law measures it by alignment. The one who is calm, grateful, and faithful is often more prosperous than the one who labors day and night in worry. Struggle often disguises itself as virtue. People boast of how hard they work, how much they sacrifice, believing that their worth is tied to their suffering. But divine truth says you are worthy simply because you exist. You do not earn life, breath, or love, you receive them because they are your birthright. Prosperity is no different. The belief that you must struggle to deserve abundance is born of separation from truth. The moment you release that belief, the flow returns. You begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and blessings appearing as though out of nowhere. That is the natural rhythm of the aligned soul. Effortless receiving through faith, gratitude, and divine order. You are meant to live in ease, not tension, in flow, not force. Ease does not mean inactivity, it means inspired movement guided by trust in divine supply. When you are aligned, work becomes joy. You no longer labor under pressure or worry about results. You act because you are guided to act, not because you fear lack. The aligned individual may work long hours but feels no strain, for their work is an expression of divine energy. They move in rhythm with abundance itself, and everything they touch prospers. Money, ideas, opportunities, and helpers flow to them easily. They are never anxious about tomorrow, for they know that divine supply is continuous and unfailing. Alignment brings peace to the heart, clarity to the mind, and prosperity to the outer life. Struggle breeds fatigue and confusion, but alignment breeds creativity and ease. When you are aligned, life becomes cooperative, not competitive. The world begins to mirror back the calm certainty you hold within to live in alignment. You must let go of the belief that success is difficult. Replace it with the knowing that divine order makes all things simple. You do not have to chase wealth. You have to harmonize with it. You do not have to earn abundance. You have to embody it. You do not have to beg the universe. You have to expect and allow. This shift in awareness transforms every aspect of life. Suddenly, what once seemed hard becomes easy. What once felt distant becomes near. The current of divine supply carries you effortlessly when you cease rowing against it. Prosperity begins to meet you halfway, for it recognizes your vibration. Every affirmation of abundance strengthens this alignment until it becomes your natural state. Then prosperity is no longer something you seek. It is something you live. It surrounds you, supports you, and expresses through you as a reflection of divine harmony.